Welcome back to Someone Stole My Laundry, the podcast where we dive into the quirky, unexpected, and downright fascinating aspects of life. Join me as we explore the pulse of our city, unravel the latest YouTube trends, and peek through the windows of high-end boutiques, even if our wallets protest. Plus, we'll uncover hidden gems in thrift stores that just might change the world. Tune in for a delightful blend of curiosity, humor, and everyday adventures. So, today on Someone Stole My Laundry, it is Wednesdays, and on Wednesdays, what we often do, or what I often do, is actually answer some of your questions, or some interesting questions that I have found online. And so, I think a couple of Wednesdays ago, I answered 6 questions that I found online that I just thought were very interesting, and thought, hey, I'm going to answer these questions. And it was something that I said that I want to do possibly every Wednesday. So today's Wednesday, and I think I'm repeating this tradition of just answering very interesting questions that I find online. So the first question that I thought was quite compelling was, if you could join any past or present current music group, which would you join? I love this question because when I was a child, I used to always want to be in the group TLC, and they have some really amazing and just trending hits, such as Creep, which was a song that I liked. So I liked Creep, I liked there was on their second, so that was on their second album. On their first, they had Ain't Too Proud to Beg, Hat to the Back, Baby Baby Baby. I also like Kick Your Game, which was on the second album, and then on their third album, which was Fan Mail, I love the song No Scrubs. So I think from the past, group that I would want to join is, I would really want to join TLC and have some fun with those women. They're just one of the most amazing girl groups that I can think of. And while we're on this question and I'm answering this, they've actually did so it was like a TV show, kind of like a reality show, where they were doing a competition for anybody who would want to join the group and sing with them. And it wasn't, of course, we know that Left Eye passed away, but this wasn't to replace Left Eye. It was just to kind of like temporarily join the group in, a homage to Left Eye and the TLC group, I believe. So they actually did that before, and when I watched it, I was like, God, I wish I was on there, just being a part of the group. I love that group. So if I could join any group, it would be TLC. Second question, what celebrity would you like to meet at Starbucks for a cup of coffee? Ooh, this is a good question, and I'm answering it extemporaneously. So I haven't prepared an answer. And so who would I want to sit down and have coffee with, who seems like just an interesting person to talk to? Who I would actually who I would really want to sit down and have a discussion with, and all the liberals are going to hate me for this, but as you know, before I give you my answer, is my beliefs are liberal, and so most of the things that I advocate for are liberal, and I identify as a liberal person, if not liberal independent. So what is that? Right of liberal, right of the libertarian? I don't know, but unfortunately, when I think about this question, and again, a lot of liberals are going to really dislike me for this answer, but I cannot think. I can't think of any liberal person that I would actually want to sit down right now and have like a meeting with at Starbucks. I think that all the people, and again, I am not a conservative, but when I'm watching, for example, if I'm on YouTube and I'm watching interviews and I'm watching, I'm going to give two answers, because now that I think about it, there is one person that I would actually want to sit down and have a conversation with. And I don't really know their political beliefs, but I think that it is on the left. And so a person that I would actually want to go to Starbucks and have coffee with that is liberal would be Monroe Bergdorf. I've actually watched a few of her interviews and found her conversation to be, and her arguments to be quite sound and valid. And she seems to be a very interesting person. And I think that it would be, I think I'd have a fun time actually going out with her at Starbucks and learning her story and just learning what she would have to tell me. So I think it would be Monroe Bergdorf. Now, this second person is on the right, and the reason why I would actually I would want to sit down and talk with this person at Starbucks, because they just sound super intelligent and it seems like you can learn a lot from them, and that is Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, I know that he has a lot of prejudice beliefs, and of course I'm not looking at that lens like, oh, I want to know about this. No, he just sounds like a very intelligent person, and I think that if you sat down and had a conversation with him, I think you could learn a lot from Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, the conversation that I would like to have with Vivek Ramaswamy, which I'm pretty sure I'd bore him to death, because I mean, he's super intelligent. But it wouldn't be about politics. I just think it would be just about the world today. And I think that he would actually carry you on a journey with talking about just the ways of the world today and things that are happening in life. So those are the two people that I think I want to have a conversation with at Starbucks. Number 3, is there anything you wished would come back into fashion? Yes, yes, yes. There is something that I do wish that would come back into fashion, and that is bell-bottom pants. Now, we know that they were very popular back in the day, and then they made a comeback. I think they made a comeback, like, I think in a period of time during the 90s. I think they made a comeback, and then they kind of showed back up, during maybe, what was it, during the period of the 2000s or something. I know that they came back twice, and now they're gone again. So anything in fashion that would actually come back that I wish would be bell-bottom pants. Love those, love those, love those. And 4th question, what's the longest you've gone without sleep, and why? Wow. Now, this is a very personal question. Personal. It was a personal question, and it's a very personal answer, and I'm prepared to answer that. So I believe the longest I've gone without sleep was for 3 days. And this was when I had left Dublin. So I had left the Republic of Ireland altogether, and I came to Northern Ireland. And as you know, if you've been following my journey and following my story, you understand that I'm an asylum seeker and I'm an American. And when we think about asylum seekers, we often don't think that American can be one. And so this stereotype and perception about who is and who isn't an asylum seeker reared its head in Northern Ireland. So when I got here, I was being told that I couldn't file asylum, that I'm an American, that I actually have to go to the US Embassy, I have to go to the US Consulate in Belfast because they're the ones that actually have control over me. So everywhere that I was going when I first got here was telling me that you need to go to the US Consulate because you're an American and they are the ones that's going to be controlling you. And so for the 3-day period of time, so the first day, of course, I didn't go, and I think that the second day I didn't go. And so during this period of time, because they wouldn't let me file an asylum claim and I couldn't get housing, I was forced to remain out on the street, houseless. And I was afraid to fall asleep for, that time that I was outside because, of course, I am a minority in a foreign country and, I just didn't know what was going to happen, right? And so that kept me up, just that anxiety of not actually knowing what would happen if I fell asleep outside was, something that made me stay awake. And it was just, I wouldn't say it was a fear, but it was just like an agitation. I would say, like, okay, so if I fell asleep and something happened to me, it would be more so like, okay, it's an agitation because now I'm being awakened by an event that's out of my control or an event that I didn't anticipate. And then, of course, I'm tired and I'm exhausted and I wasn't prepared for this. So that is the longest that I've gone without sleep. I think it was approximately 3 days. It could have been even longer, maybe four days that I went without sleep. And I looked horrible. Like I looked like I didn't have any sleep. I looked, my eyes were bloodshot. I looked very bad. Like it was not a good look, I'll tell you that. So that's the longest I've gone without sleep. And why? Now, I've actually been in a similar situation in the past, but never have actually gone without sleep for that long of a period of time. This was the first time I've actually been I probably want to say this is the first time that I've been reluctant to go to sleep in such a situation. So next question, what's your favorite zoo animal? Well, if you know me, you know that I actually don't have a favorite zoo animal because I don't like animals to be in the zoo. I'm against captivity. I didn't like it when the orcas were in the zoo. I don't like to see animals caged. I think that animals belong in their natural habitat and their wildlife and their natural space. I just think it is disheartening and such a tragedy when you see animals in the zoo. This is not a good thing. So I don't like to see animals in the zoo. And because I don't like to see animals in the zoo, I don't have any favorite animals. Okay, and last but not least, what would you sing at karaoke night? Now, in the other episode that we did, I expressed that if there was a gift that I could have, it would be able to, that I would want to be able to sing. So if you know me, you know I'm just not a singer. But if I could actually, if I were going to karaoke night with a group of friends, which I've gone to karaoke night before when I was in the United States, and I've gone to, you know, people have always gone on stage and sang karaoke, and I've always been the one that didn't go up on the stage because it was something that now listen, I do understand that most voices that are singing karaoke are not singing voices, right? This is just the fun thing. You're singing your favorite song. But I often look at it sometimes as a contest, and there are times when people do get up for karaoke and they do have an amazing voice, and that their voice is, you know, reverberating across the room, and it's impacting our emotions. And so that's the reason why I have never gotten up to sing for karaoke, because, like, you know, if you're going to sing, you actually want to have that kind of impact. But for karaoke night, if I were like, and again, in the United States, I forget this place that was on South Lamar, but there was this place on South Lamar, and you would go in. Excuse me. Excuse me. You would go in there, and there was, interestingly, it was like a bowling alley, and then it actually had karaoke rooms. So you could actually go in and sing karaoke in these different rooms. And so to answer this question, I think that the songs that I would sing for karaoke night, the first one would be Holding Out for a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. I just love that song. Like, that's just such it's like one of those anthems. You're going into, you know, something like you're standing up for yourself, and maybe somebody is standing up for you. It's just such an amazing song. And I'm going to tell you something. It was a movie called Shrek, and they actually played that song, and it was such a good addition to the movie. So Holding Out for a Hero, Bonnie Tyler. I would also sing I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston. It's a song that I love. She has an amazing voice, and this song's melody is just very beautiful and elegant, and very serene when you listen to it. And then the third song that I would sing would be Try Again by Aaliyah. You know, that is a song that you can actually sing and then you dance to, because if you've ever watched that video Try Again by Aaliyah, you see that there is like a dance that goes along with that song. So it would be very interesting to see, and I actually would love to try it, to actually to relearn that dance, because I learned that dance quite some time ago, but there are steps in that dance that were kind of tricky for me to learn. And so some of the choreography was quite complicated, but I would reconsider learning that dance fully, that choreography, and then actually singing along with this song. So Try Again and doing the choreography too. And those are the three songs that I would actually sing at karaoke night. So what about you? I want to ask you the same thing. You know, if you could join any past or current music group, which one would you join? And what celebrity would you like to meet at Starbucks for a cup of coffee? If you met that celebrity at Starbucks for a cup of coffee, what conversation would you want to have? And is there anything you wish would come back in fashion? Was it something that was available while you were growing up, or maybe while your parents were growing up? And this question to you as well: what's the longest you've gone without sleep, and why? And do you have a favorite zoo animal? I know that I've expressed that I don't, because I don't like animals being in the zoo, but you might. So if you do, which animal is your favorite? And what would you sing at karaoke night? This has been an episode of Someone Stole My Laundry. I'm your host, Quianna Canada. We'll see you next time.